So I produced games at Disney, at DreamWorks, and most recently I led an educational game studio at Amazon. There are always gates around a pre-seed round, a seed round, Series A, and a Series B. What those gates are change over time. 2 years ago, retention really was the key metric in order to have comfort to write a big check. Now, big checks are really more around having $1 million in ARR minimum, or a very large number of existing customers. Where essentially Google search meets Netflix Kids meets ChatGPT, all in one delicious basket. One of them we exited. One of them was a giant hole in the ground. One of them was kind of a break-even thing. And there was another one making so much money doing something else that, like, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
What's the story?
How long you got?
How are you doing today?
Good, good. Yeah, just plowing through a spreadsheet, which is always my favorite thing to do. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
it's everybody's favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you
Where,
calling
where are
from?
you, Edward?
I'm
Where are you
good, thank
based?
you.
Good.
I'm in San Francisco. Yes.
Oh, you are as well. Okay, cool.
Oh, you're also in San Francisco.
I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I'm close to the baseball stadium.
Oh,
So
nice. And Telegraph Hill. Do you know where that is?
Telegraph Hill, yes,
Uh,
I know.
Yeah, by North Beach.
Very nice. That's awesome. I don't get many local people on the podcast. People are all over. A lot of people in California. I just talked to a guy in San Diego. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, great to meet you. Before
Great
we
to meet you.
dig in, I'll give you a little bit of context. I'm the founder of Imperial Arts. We partner with B2B SaaS companies to help increase their revenue and profitability by acquiring new clients. And that is why we're interviewing the leaders within the space, such as people from Mercedes-Benz and Cisco, and now you, to gain a little bit of a deeper insight into the market and provide value back to you in the form of this podcast. It usually takes around 30 to 40 minutes. Does that sound good to you?
Yep, that's okay.
Sweet. Okay, let's jump right into it. So I understand that Hello Wonder is in the AI space, especially democratizing the internet for kids. Could you share some insights into your business and the role you play within it?
Yeah, so we're quite specifically, we're trying to fix the internet for kids. And so we're doing that because 84% of parents rightly are concerned about unmonitored screen time because kids get hurt online. They get hurt by bad people, by bad content, and we are able to leverage AI to block negative content and to block addictive algorithms and to block bad people. So it makes it a safe environment so we can give parents peace of mind to just let their children express themselves and learn and grow, completely uh, driven by their own kind of passions, interests, and special needs, whatever those might be.
Wow, that's amazing. And how are you doing that?
It's pretty cool. Well, we classify all the content on the internet and we put it into 5 categories. So there's the educational content, there's healthy content, there's specifically content that is okay but has lots of ads. So we strip that out. And then there's negative content and there's truly toxic content. And so then we only show the top 2 categories of content to our kids. And you asked my role. My role is so I come out of game production. So I was produced games at Disney, at DreamWorks, and most recently I led an educational game studio at Amazon for and all the time producing digital content for kids. So my role is partly to be the co-founder who does sort of understand what motivates kids, how to get them excited, how to keep them engaged, and how to keep them learning. And then the other side is business development, which is the other piece of work that I've always done. So this is my fourth company that I started, and my third one that's a kid tech company. And so always in the process of getting your product to market, you need to build partnerships, especially in the kid space, because kids are hard to access. And so it always works best if you can go with a partner who already has an audience of kids.
Wow. Okay. So you're a serial founder. I I did not know. I saw a little bit on your LinkedIn and did some research, and I'm pleasantly surprised that you started those companies as well. What happened to those? Did you make exits? Like, can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. One of them we exited. One of them was a giant hole in the ground. One of them was kind of a break-even thing that just kind of petered out. And there was another one which actually was a totally different kind of business where my co-founder was just making so much money doing something else. I was making great money and we were splitting it, and I thought we were making great money, but he was just making so much more money doing something else that he's like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. So that's how that one ended.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a great problem to have.
Yes, right? A very good problem to have. He's still making all that money, so it worked out for him.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about the current trends in the market that you're aware of? Where are the winds kind of blowing? What are you noticing in your space?
So in general, I would say the EdTech market is not doing terribly well in the moment. Part of the reason is it got very inflated during COVID. So there was a massive rush to online learning. And so a lot of the valuations got out of control, and there was definitely overinvestment in the sector. And so now, as always, all of these things are cyclical. There's a little bit of retrenching. I think the other thing, just in general, is because interest rates are so high that the appetite for risk capital in general is low, and that makes sense. So if you can make 5% on a CD slash, bond of some kind, why would you invest in a high risk capital asset category? So I think it's not in a great space right now. But again, these things are always cyclical, and this too shall pass.
I love that quote. Was it Marcus Aurelius or was it somebody else? I
Yeah,
forget.
I don't know who said it first. It might have been in the mists of time, right? Before
Yeah,
writing, I suspect.
yeah, that's awesome. So, what is kind of happening in the market today that's making the landscape more challenging or easier to operate? You mentioned raising money, but is there anything else?
Sure. I mean, so interest rates, I think, are a huge driving factor for sure. Tariffs don't help. They just add uncertainty and confusion to the market. Um, so I think there is a period of like, well, what does this all mean? And then I suspect things will normalize, probably by fall, and hopefully that will be a path that's a little bit stronger and better. But it does mean that a lot of folks are holding back on investment in the moment.
And what about sales? Does that affect sales as well?
Not dramatically, I don't think. Certainly if you're in an online business and you're based in the US, um, there are no tariffs associated with that, so it's not direct and specific. But if consumer sentiment fell through then that would be bad. But consumer sentiment, the sentiment itself is actually pretty bad, but people continue to spend. So as long as consumers are actually spending, it's okay.
I see. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So when you look at the next 6 to 12 months in your business or career, where do you see the biggest opportunity for growth here that you're really excited about? And where do you see the biggest gaps that need to be fixed?
So I think we're still an early stage startup, and we were extremely focused on product development in the last year and a half. And the metric that mattered most, our KPI, was engagement. And we wanted to make sure that our 30-day engagement in particular hit a certain point. And we did achieve that, which is fantastic. So we now have, it ranges some sort of 48 to 52% 30-day retention, which is pretty staggering for a kids product. Most kids products are half or even less than that. And we believe that's because we really function for kids like a utility. We're essentially like Google search meets Netflix Kids meets ChatGPT, all in one delicious basket, because we have all the content on the internet available to a child, all delivered safely. So it makes them feel like things are a bit limitless. So what I'm really excited about in the next 6 months is is developing those partnerships. And so we've gotten into conversations just beginning about 2 months ago, and these deals will take time. They always do. But we do have a number of the biggest players in the kids media space, in the technology space, and in mobile services as well, that are really excited about partnering with us, and we're excited about partnering with them. So I think that's what I'm most excited about over the next 6 months is bringing what we have sort of proven is delightful to kids, because kids think in pictures and they think in, and it's all voice driven. So kids think in audio and they think in pictures and images. And that is not something that Google search or ChatGPT are good at delivering right now. They are amazing at what they do, but it's really designed for grown-ups.
How would a partnership like one of those that you talked about affect your business today?
It would help distribution first and foremost. So all of those partners that we're talking to have existing distribution. So rather than needing, so there's always an issue in the kids business when you're starting a kids business that the joke is why it often is not a great business. If you just literally want to make the most money, you wouldn't necessarily go after kids because kids don't have wallets, turns out. And so, and the other big issue is that parents and kids tend to have very different wants and desires, and you need to market to both. So you need to market to parents and sell them on some kind of a value, usually educational, or that it helps their child in some way. And you have to sell the kid on fun at some level. And so I can call it sort of essentially it's like chocolate covered broccoli. So the chocolate's for the kid, the broccoli's for the mom, or the dad, and you have to sell both. So often marketing to families like that, because kids don't have money, parents do. It's twice the expense because you're marketing to two parties and half the revenue. So the 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 way to get around the dilemma in that particular marketplace is by partnering with companies that already do have existing large audiences of kids and figuring out a way to add so much value for them to grow their market, to grow their provide entirely new product opportunities, which is one of the things that we are doing. Is if you our product is very easy to skin to make it look like another brand, and so we can very happily do a revenue share and really provide essentially a new product category for them.
Yeah, I'm curious about that revenue share portion. How does it work when your product is free?
It won't stay free. So it has always been designed to be a subscription service, and that is very much the intention. We do have a large opportunity around affiliate revenue as well, but that's advertising to parents. So we won't advertise to kids, but we will advertise to parents. But we believe it's really going to be useful information for parents also. But a parent can always choose to pay a tiered subscription fee that's a little higher and have no ads. But
I
we have not
see.
rolled
Yeah,
that out yet.
that makes sense. What's the timeline on that, or are you just looking for a user goal at this point?
Timeline is fall, so we'll start charging in the fall. We won't charge our existing customers, but we will charge new customers in the fall. Also, as soon as we actually have implemented one of the partnerships, it will no longer be appropriate for our service to be free. So that's a little bit of a tandem thing.
I see. Yeah, everybody's gotta eat.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, what a journey you're on. So how important is it for you right now to build more strategic visibility? Whether that would be a company branding or company positioning or just getting the story out more clearly to ideal partners or clients. Is that something that you're looking into?
It's not something we're looking into right now, largely because we are really doing one-on-one business development deals with large companies. Of course, it is always desirable to make your story more crisp. So always looking for advice and suggestions, but it isn't something that we're super actively seeking right now. is help with
Okay.
that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, let's dive a little bit deeper into that business development. So, I guess in your recent experience, would you say your business development and client acquisition processes are where you want them to be, or are there still parts that feel slower or heavier than they should?
Um, so we're so small that it's really all about personal relationships at this point. So could it be more efficient? Oh yeah, way more efficient. Would we like to have a better system for managing the pipeline? Uh, Absolutely, we would. Um, is it practical as a very early stage startup? Probably not, but interested in processes that would help with that.
I see. And in that case, what are currently your biggest frustrations building Hello Wonder, and why?
I don't know if I call this a frustration, but uh, large companies, of course, they exist on a very different time frame, and so uh, it can it requires patience to understand that they just will need room to go through whatever their processes are to be able to make a decision and be able to commit. Um, um, as a result, we probably are speaking to more companies than we might in order because we can't manage the timeline for each individual company. And some of them may come to fruition in as short a time as 3 months, but some could take 12 months or a year. I mean, 9 months or a year. So it's really hard to know. Um, some of them I actually started speaking to a year and a half ago when we were really just in prototype. And it's only now that we have a more mature product and their own thinking around AI has evolved as well. So a lot of them are a lot of larger companies are trying to figure out exactly what their positioning is and perspective on AI is. And that feels like finally companies have gone from like, ooh, we don't want to touch it. It sounds like a PR disaster to really integrating across their systems. So it's a lot less scary now, which is helpful.
Yeah, wow, yeah, I guess AIs focus that are focused on kids content must be managed and looked after very closely and have a lot of guardrails. What are the
That's
kind of
right.
challenges you're seeing there?
Well, it's hard to do. You know, even the big companies when they do AI, they will kind of acknowledge in their statements that there may be mistakes. Um, so it's certainly challenging to put all the systems in place, but I think we've probably done the best job of anyone out there that I'm aware of. We just have layers and layers of privacy guidelines. We have developed a lot of specific technology to address. We call it like it's a bullshit radar screen, so to try to see and test and make sure that everything is safe. And we've done, of course, a tremendous amount of red teaming on the product, and so far it's really accomplished exactly what we hoped.
That's
But you're
cool.
right;
So
it's a big
you
challenge.
had
I mean, you do have to be COPPA compliant for sure.
Yeah, so you had people trying to jailbreak or break the product a lot. I'm guessing that's such an
Oh, yeah.
interesting process.
Yeah, yes, indeed. People definitely take a whack at it.
So yeah, it really sounds to me like you are focusing a lot on growth within your company and user acquisition. What's the purpose and end goal of this user acquisition? Is it to have the numbers for another round, or well, I'm trying to understand a little bit what the purpose is moving forward.
Sure. It's twofold. I mean, first and foremost, it's revenue. So the biggest need is revenue, and revenue is a proxy for audience size, or you could it kind of works the other way as well. A large audience suggests large revenue, and for sure, meaningful revenue would help us raise a Series A and beyond tremendously. That is something that feels like it shifted in the marketplace a bit. That um, the the gauges sort of there's always been there are always gates around a pre-seed round, a seed round, a Series A, and a Series B. and what those gates are change over time. And so, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, retention really was the key metric that everybody was in order to have comfort to write a big check. Um, Now, big checks are really more around having $1 million, in ARR minimum, or a very large number of existing customers. So, getting levering up to the numbers that would allow a venture investor to write a very large check, we believe will require those partnerships to be in place because we have to
So
demonstrate revenue and we have to demonstrate the customer base.
yeah, that's very interesting. You're yeah, how long have you been doing this startup? What's kind of the timeline since you started?
We started in March of 2023,
Okay.
so
And I
two
guess
years.
building the product takes the longest, and now you're just kind of getting the ball rolling.
Building the products takes, yeah, that's exactly right. Building the product takes a long time. Again, it has to be super robust and super safe. Fundraising takes a long time. So we raised our first round in the fall of 2023. Um, and then now you do get to start doing new things, like for us, the partnerships, which are so fun, but you've got to have a really robust product first. We do,
Absolutely.
we do get undergo in order to have the partnership conversations, really detailed technical due diligence. That's incredibly appropriate. They should be doing technical due diligence. But a year ago, we would not have been ready for technical due diligence, and now we are.
Absolutely. It sounds like you have a team. I would love to dig in a little bit on that front when it comes to building or scaling your teams to help drive growth or product building. Do you prefer doing most things yourself, or are you more focused on finding the right partners and systems to take things off your plate?
Prefer doing it ourselves. We definitely, so we're still a small team. So it's about 11 people. There are three co-founders with very different skill sets. So I'm sort of the kids and games producer person. Another of the co-founders was one of the lead designers behind Android. So he's a UX expert. Helped create material design within Google.
Wow.
The third co-founder is really a technical expert, and he led prototyping teams, especially in AI, also for Google, and actually built the prototype for Google Photos all by himself. So he's
Wow.
our technical expert. So those are three legs of the stool. And I'd say, a very critical leg for us going forward is a marketing leg. And that would be the fourth leg of the stool that would make it super, super stable. We do absolutely work with overseas contractors, and some of them have been fantastic. So we have had very, very good luck, particularly in the design area. But there are incredibly talented engineers, of course, too. You just always have to manage the time zone issues, and sometimes there are language barriers. But we've had good
Yeah, I
luck
love
with individual.
your landing page. I do agree your design is awesome. Like you
Thanks,
really have a
appreciate that.
friendly brand. I love it.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, of course. So since you have a team, what are you responsible for? How are you currently spending your days?
Whew, right now, I am very focused on partnerships. So I am managing the whole pipeline. I'm reaching out to people. I'm building slide decks to show them exactly what we can do for them, showing them what a customized version would look like, and then following up. So lots and lots of meetings, lots of spreadsheets, also modeling what this would look like for them. So that's what I was working on right before we called, and I'll go right back to is like for a particular partner, what would this look like as a business proposition if things went reasonably well? It's pretty exciting. It would be really, really big, which is nice.
Yeah, I bet while you're working on it, you're kind of feeling the pressure building up and you're kind of seeing, okay, well, this is going to happen soon. And I bet it's exciting. I bet.
Well, you're always
Go
certainly
ahead.
dreaming about what the future can be, of course. So it's and I'm actually never been super impatient for the future to arrive too quickly, but I am excited about setting things up so that they have the possibility to manifest in the way that I'm thinking about it. Never goes
Awesome. Yeah.
quite according to plan, of course.
No, and that's kind of that's kind of where my follow-up question would be. Like, one thing we really love about the leaders that we interview is that they're usually really open to new ways of solving old problems. So, how do you personally approach finding new strategies or partners to help drive growth in your business?
Oh, I guess, I have a really deep love of brainstorming and a keen awareness that I think better when I'm in partnership with somebody else who is really smart and is bringing a different perspective. And so I try to set up brainstorms with potential partners always. So like, hey, here are some ideas, and your job as the sort of leader of the business discussion around a brainstorm is here are some ideas. Do these make any sense to you? Do they am I miss what do you need? What do you most want? And those are always incredibly fun. That's I feel like when I'm most in flow is when I'm in a group of compelling, smart people who have specific needs, and we're all trying to connect dots and see how to make something bigger and better that helps more
Yeah,
people
feed
at
off
the
the
end of the day.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
That's
that's
true
amazing.
internally as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to have the right partners to work with, the right communication. A bad apple can make a lot of damage. So
Yep,
yeah, that's
that's
definitely
very
important.
true.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. A couple last questions. What
Yeah.
s- from everything we spoke about here, what matters more than anything else right now to you, and why?
Um, Audience size and getting to revenue quickly. Those are the things that matter most. So if we're very focused on both of those. Um, and I think um, the partnerships are the route. So I think we're pretty confident about the route to get to the audience side that we need. But we do need to close those partnerships, and we need to do it in a time frame that is not entirely within our control because they all move at their own pace. And that's why we keep loading the top of the funnel, as it were.
Fantastic. What a great insight. Short and concise, you know where you're heading. Um
We're trying.
and as a last question, I try to always get an insight from your view. Is there anything you'd like to share that I didn't ask?
I think you had great questions. Um, I guess the only like insight for other folks who might be doing startups is uh, y- y- this is number four, and I no longer take it super personally any way that it goes. I always hope for success. I want it to be successful. But startups are really hard, and I think that it will reduce an entrepreneur's stress tremendously to not take it all personally. You're so potentially fragile as a little startup that uh, any kind of a macro wind hit strike can be fatal or can save you or make something great happen. But neither the failings nor the successes are really very personal at the end of the day.
Yeah, what a great insight. I mean, failure is learning at this point, and if you don't get back up and go get it again, uh, you won't reach success, right?
That is true.
Well, with that being said, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, Brian. Thank you so much. How was that for you? Are you happy?
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. Thank you, Edward. It's great to meet you, and thank you for the conversation, and thank you for all the excellent questions.
Thanks, Brian. Bye bye.
Have a good day. Bye bye.